Hello everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I am celebrating today the launch of my book, The Road to Champagne, 13 Principles to Drive Career Success. And I thank you for your interest and for your support along the way. It's been 2 years in the making and I am thrilled it's finally out. That way readers can get their hands on it and extract the right insights to make them more efficient at driving their car on the road to success. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help the readers get some actionable insights on how to become more strategic and better prepared for managing their own career. So what we're going to do today is talk about a high-level summary of the book so that you can understand, hey, should I buy this book or not? And I think you will conclude that yes, you should. So The Road to Champagne is about unlocking milestones, achievements on your road as you grow that are worth celebrating. Celebrating with champagne, like I would, but you can celebrate as you choose, right? So let me tell you a little bit more about the framework. The framework that is the core of this book consists of 3 parts. Shape your mindset. It's about how do we have the right mentality, the right beliefs to get us to where we need to get, because you do need a growth mindset. Otherwise, you're not going to get too far. Number 2, build your brand. How do you become somebody that is differentiated within your field, right? How do you differentiate yourself from the pack, your coworkers, your classmates, etc.? How do you become the best option for an employer, a business partner, a client, etc.? And then third, be the driver. This is about how can we become more proactive at managing our career. Because guess what? This is something you cannot delegate. You cannot trust other people with your career. It's really up to you. And as you can see in the framework, each part consists of 4 to 5 principles. In the book, I dedicate 1 chapter to each principle. And I explain, what that principle is all about, what are the benefits of embedding it into your life. And I tell stories from the experiences of colleagues, friends, and myself of how that principle, helped us in our journey. And then finally, there are action items that you can take to embed those principles into your life and become more proficient at them. And hey, by the way, today I am revealing a new page in my website that you can see here that has downloadable, fillable PDF templates for you completing the action items. If you don't want to fill them out in the book, you can download them and have an electronic version saved in your files if that's what you prefer. All right, so why don't we dive into part 1? You see, it all starts with what we believe up here, right? What we believe can either propel us or anchor us. So it is important that we do have the right mindset. And it all starts with the first principle, want more. You see, want more is a prerequisite to everything that comes afterwards. And you might say, well, Alejandro, come on, that's pretty basic. Of course, we have to want more. Yes, but not a lot of people want more that is accompanied with action. We all wish for more, but not everybody is actually wanting more in a strategic fashion. Okay, so we'll talk about this. It is about defining what you want more of. It could be more leadership experiences, international exposure, learning, higher meaning, a bigger scope. It could be more income. You define what that more is. Then it's about figuring out where can I get that more? Can I get it within my current context, within the team and the organization that I'm in? Or do I have to go to a different team within my organization? Or do I have to change companies? Or do I have to change cities or perhaps countries? I've done that 4 times. I've gone to different countries searching for something different, something more. And the third question is about figuring out, okay, now that I know what I want and where I can get it, how do I get there? It's about charting a path, with an action plan of how you can get to that more, okay? Now, I do want to give you a warning, and this is what the Want More Matrix is all about. You have to be thankful and you have to appreciate where you are today in your career, right? Because you could be worse off. I don't want you to think that you're only going to be happy once you get to that more. You have to be happy now, but you also have to be focused on how do you get that more. You see, the risk is you're going to spend your life chasing the next thing, and you're never going to be happy, thinking that you're only going to be happy once you achieve that next goal. But guess what? Once you achieve the next goal, you're going to have a new goal. So might as well be happy all of your life, not unhappy. Principle number 2 is about answering the question, how much more should I want? So it's aiming outside your league. You see, there are 2 types of goals that you can go for, the normal and high goals. And there are 2 potential outcomes when you go for a high goal. You can either achieve it and therefore have a step change in your career, or you can fail, and there's nothing wrong with failing, because you will learn some valuable lessons for you to try again that same goal, or to try a different yet equally ambitious goal. It's gonna, extract some creativity, energy that is gonna help you achieve that goal versus just having a normal goal. And if you have a normal goal, guess what? You're gonna have a normal outcome. But this is about, growing as much as you can in your career, not just being, one of the many. So make sure that your plan A is very ambitious, and you can have something, more realistic as a plan C or D. Principle number 3 is about always being WIP, work in progress. This means that you're not a product that is finished. You are undergoing transformation. You're always learning. You're learning stuff related to your work. You're learning stuff that's indirectly related to your work, and stuff that is not related to your work, such as personal hobbies and interests. But you are always learning. You see, this helps you tackle learning curves whenever they will come at you. It makes you more flexible, more intellectually curious, and is only going to prepare you for the many challenges that your road to success will bring you. And principle number 4 is about saying yes. You see, sometimes we are too busy chasing opportunities, but sometimes they come to us, they knock on our door. So what do? You see, most people are too comfortable with their routine. They don't want to break that routine. They don't want to put an extra effort, so they say no. Because saying yes will take time and effort, right? And I'm talking about yeses that make sense. An invitation to join an international project for 6 months in London or somewhere else. An invitation to join a project that is outside of your comfort zone. An invitation to participate with one of your friends at a volunteer event over the weekend. Obviously, it's not about saying yes to, illegal, immoral, or dangerous propositions. But saying yes, might open doors that you did not expect, doors that you would love afterwards. So you have to look at those, offers, those propositions through a lens of saying yes, unless there is something critical that why I should say no to this, right? And of course, we have to say no to distractions from big priorities, right? But this is about those opportunities that come unexpectedly, looking for us. And principle number 5, be adaptable. You know probably very well that our road to success will have many twists and turns. So you might as well be ready. And once you are flexible, adaptable, you're gonna land on your feet no matter what. This is about triggering change, right? So when you want more, when you aim high, when you are always learning, when you're saying yes to opportunities, guess what? You are inviting change to come. That's what we want. We want change. Getting to more implies changing your current situation. But what I propose is that you should not only be comfortable with change, but you should proactively seek it. Seek change on your own terms. Once you start feeling, comfortable, perhaps a little bored in your current stage, shake it up. Go for something new. That will definitely make you much more adaptable, and it'll expose you to new things that are going to enrich your career. And what happens when all of these 5 principles are at play and you are proficient at them? Guess what? You're going to start reaching your goals. You're going to start building confidence, and you're going to want more again. And then this cycle will start. It's a cycle of growth. It creates momentum. As you can see in this framework, there is motion involved. There is effort involved. But that motion, once it's going, is going to propel you forward, and that's what you want. So, Now you know what that growth mindset looks like at a very high level. Let's talk now about the second part of the framework. How do you become differentiated from the pack? Okay? So I propose that the first step is principle number 6, which is know yourself. You have to understand how you are wired. This means really being able to articulate what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what motivates you, what stresses you out, how other people perceive you. This is very important. You might say, well, I don't care. Why would I care about how other people perceive me? But guess what? There are some people that are going to make some decisions about you, whether you should get that promotion or not, whether you should get that offer or not, whether you should be given that business deal or not. And you should care about their opinion of you, right? So you have to know. That is why feedback is so essential. And as you can see in the self-awareness puzzle here, these two elements are equally important, right? How do you understand how others perceive you? Listen, it's very simple. It's about asking for feedback from people around you, perhaps your peers, your direct reports, your clients, your bosses. Whenever I go into a meeting and I have to, present and deliver something that is of importance, I ask somebody, hey, how did I do? What did I do well? And what could I do better? And yes, I might hear some stuff that is trivial, so I filter it out. But sometimes I hear stuff that is meaty and important, and that I really take, into consideration and address it. So you have to know yourself. Why? Because you will have to make some decisions in your career that should play to your strengths, to your interests. You should avoid stuff that is going to bore you, that is going to not, give you that spark in the morning. You want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success. So the next principle, stick to your values. As you saw in the puzzle, values are a component of it. However, they are so critical, they are its own principle, right? You have to understand what are your core values, what are your secondary values, and the list of potential values is huge depending on the source. And we all have different value sets, right? But it is about understanding it so that you can make decisions related to your career, your professional brand, that are aligned with your values, right? You want to make sure that your values are brought to the table in a way that makes you an authentic, successful professional. You also want to make decisions that are aligned to those values, right? So should I go for job offer A or job offer B? Should I go for this major or that major? Should I even marry this person, right? That depends on your values as well. Should I go for project X or project Y? Those, are great tests of your values, and you should bring them into play. So now that you know yourself better and you know your values as well and your strengths, it's time to build some serious expertise, right? This is about creating one or two areas of expertise where you are better than most people in your field. You are known for excelling in these one or two activities, right? So what I want you to do is think about, what are the 10 traits within your field that are important for you to succeed, right? So a successful leader in this field will have, these 10 attributes. And then plot your performance against each of those 10 variables relative to your peers. What you want to see is one or two big spikes, right? Where you are scoring higher than most. You want to see some secondary spikes where you are above average and they make you well-rounded. You want to see some where you are average, that's perfectly fine. And you don't want to see some where you are below average. Those are opportunities for you to improve and bring it at least up to the average level, right? Because those will become trade-offs. So make sure that you are building those, one or two main spikes, maintaining them, because those are the characteristics that are going to differentiate you in your field. One of my spikes, the main spike, is problem solving, right? How do I solve a complex business problem so that we can get to the optimal solution? And this whole book is an exercise in problem solving, right? Solving the problem of, why are most professionals here when they have the potential to be up here, right? Addressing those root causes by acting on these 13 principles. Now, once you have those 3 elements, it's time to bring your brand together into one cohesive, simple statement that explains what you bring to the table as a professional. And you should use this as a guide to help you, take the right training courses, right, to sharpen some of your skills. You should use this to communicate and market, what you bring to the table. If people in your network don't know what you bring as a professional, then they cannot think of you when they are in need of somebody like you. So you do have to market your brand. And also be mindful and strategic about how that brand should evolve over the next 3 or 5 years. It will evolve, it should evolve, but don't let it just wander off. Be strategic and then make the right choices now so that you can start building your future brand by getting the right exposure, the right projects, the right experiences, the right training that eventually are gonna take you to that next level, you in a different brand. All right, so that explains part 2. Now let's talk about how do you become the driver? How do you become more effective at managing your career? Listen, it all starts with principle number 10, increase power and influence. This is key because you might think that your results are enough, but guess what? They're not. I can come up with the most beautiful and amazing solution to a problem, but if I cannot convince the right decision makers to implement it, it's worthless. It's just a theoretical exercise that consumed my time. It created no benefits for anyone because it wasn't implemented. So you have to be equally proficient at convincing people that your proposal is the best, so it gets implemented. And your best proposal could be, hey, we need to solve this problem using this solution. Or it could be, hey, you should hire me into this role because I am your best option. So whatever it is that they're trying to convince other people of, you should be pretty good, well skilled at conveying that message and making them act in the way that you want them to. That is going to make you a more effective professional because you're going to get the job done. And as I explained, there are 2 main sources of power, right? You can see this matrix here, and you're going to get faster to your champagne, your next stage of success, if you are on a race car than if you're on a bicycle, obviously, right? So how do you get to race car status? You need high contextual power and high individual power. And I explain the differences in the book, but it is about, how do you identify, where you need to improve and improving. And guess what? You can improve by studying, by practicing, by even benchmarking people that are great at it. You can improve. The next principle is about building your village or creating the right network to get you to that next stage. Because your current network might not be enough. It might not be robust enough. It might not have the right type of contacts. So you need to solidify your network by bringing in the right contacts that are going to help you get there. This could be mentors, a sponsor, it could be coaches, it could be people in the field or the company that you're trying to go into. And it is about using your network to also help others. It's not just to help yourself, but you should help others through your network, your contacts. Connect those people that are trying to get something, that is not accessible to them right now. So you gotta have the right network. It takes a lot of time and effort to create it and to sustain it, but it is worth it. Principle number 12, grab the wheel. You see, you are on this car, you're driving on your road to success, but you cannot be on the back seat. This is not Uber, guys. You gotta be driving. You cannot delegate this to your boss, to your mentors, to your HR department, because guess what? They're busy with their own growth. I once spoke to a chief HR officer and he told me, hey, listen, my talent management team is not gonna help you or anyone. And I was a little bit shocked, but it is true. Only you can help yourself. You gotta make your interests known. You gotta knock on doors. You gotta meet the right people. You gotta go for it. They're not gonna do it for you. So it is about identifying where you wanna go and creating a plan and then executing by talking to the right people, knocking on the right doors, convincing them that without you, they are incomplete. That is your mission. And principle 13, learn from all leaders. This is about continually evolving and growing your emotional intelligence and refining and sharpening your leadership style. Imitating stuff that works well, that you've seen from leaders that do it well, and perhaps doing the opposite of some leaders that sometimes display, very poor leadership skills. And you don't want to do that. You want to do the opposite. So it is about continuously learning, right? Because you are on the road, just like a professional driver. You're going to be learning from, the road noises, the vibrations from the steering wheel. You always have to be in learning mode as far as your leadership style. So what happens when you bring these 13 principles together? You see, in the book, I also have a self-assessment at the end of each chapter, because I want you to understand what are your weak spots within the 13 principles, so that you can focus your efforts on improving on those that are in the red, turning them yellow and eventually green. You want to have mostly green across, the 13 principles. But I'm very confident that once you do, you are going to be elevating yourself to the next version of you, because you are in essence removing the 13 main root causes of slow growth, right? I'm not proposing, what are the 13 root causes of slow growth. I am proposing what are the 13 solutions to accelerate growth by tackling those root causes. But believe me, once you are proficient across the 13 of them, there's nothing that can stop you. You're going to be an unbeatable force within your profession, within your field, and that's exactly what I want. I want to share this insights at a detailed, deeper level through the book, right? I just gave you a quick 20-minute overview, but in the book, obviously there's a lot more detail, a lot more stories, research, evidence, and so forth. So I invite you to get your hands on it. It is available now wherever you buy books, whether it's online or at a store. I also invite you to please leave a review if you find the book to be of value, because we want other young professionals to benefit from it. And the road to Champagne, as I said earlier, is about celebrating milestones, right? As soon as you get that promotion, you get that deal that you wanted, you cross over to that more that you wanted, you should pop some champagne. So guess what I'm going to do now, guys? I'm going to celebrate that the road to Champagne is out by opening this 2010 Dom Perignon. This is the Lady Gaga version. So I'm very happy that you have joined me for this session today. I do thank you for checking out the book. You can follow on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can listen to the podcast online as well, in the website and wherever you listen to podcasts. You're going to listen to some of the guests that I talk about in the book. They tell their own stories live. So, that is also a nice vehicle to learn more about the 13 principles. So thank you, everybody. I wish you the best. Please, contact me through the website as well. Send me your comments. I want to hear what you think of the book. And if in some shape or form I was able to help you, I want to know. So thank you, everybody, for your support, and cheers from Miami.